Hello, we're here at the Virgin London Marathon Expo 2011. You'll have to excuse the noise. We've got the EA Active fitness studio in the left-hand side. We've got the pasta party and the talking behind me. It's probably Martin yelling on stage now. So any noise that will come into, then we'll try to avoid that. But I'm here, I'm talking to Mike Clyne, who is one of the organising members, committee of Seven Oaks Triathlon, seasoned marathon runner, and also how would you describe your relationship with Adidas for this year, Mike?
I've been given a place from them and I'm supported by them. They've helped me out with some kit and they've helped me out with going to a training evening that Martin and Liz Yellin ran, and just some other online help as well. Okay, and
how do you think this has actually helped you in terms of performance or in terms of just having the kit available? How have you benefited?
Well, I think there's probably two things. The coaching evening that Martin and Liz Yelling organised, or that I went to with Adidas, was excellent, because even though I've done some marathons before, it helped me in terms of thinking through, not getting complacent about that I've done it before, making sure that I was keeping track of my training, making sure that I was focusing properly on the various things I needed to think about. And the Adidas kit I've been wearing and wearing and wearing and wearing, so it's had
and wearing out.
Well, no, not yet, but there's time. But it means I've broken it in properly, ready for Sunday, so I'm all ready to be in the kit that I've been training in for the last 2 or 3 months.
Okay, and this is marathon number?
This will be marathon number 21,
number 21.
My 12th in London.
12th in London. And have you got a goal for this one particular?
Yeah, my goal this time is for a very steady pace. I'm training for Ironman again in August, and my aim is to train here, use this as a long training run, and go for very even pacing for about 4 hours 30. So what I'd be really pleased about is passing halfway in 2:15 and then finishing in 4:30. That would be my ideal aim.
Okay. And before this point, I mean, had you worn Adidas kit before training?
Yes, I had. I'd run previous London marathons and had various kits. I'd run previously as a pacer at the London Marathon, and where we had kit as well, but I've also been wearing quite a bit. So I mean, I've got here with me my...
And this is your race top?
This is my race top already, and I've even been running in it just to make sure it does work. And it didn't necessarily make me any faster, but it definitely was very comfortable.
And your footwear of choice? Adidas
my footwear of choice is my Adidas footwear, which is too muddy to show on camera at the moment from my last few runs, but it's been good, and I had them in enough time to really get used to it, and it's worked very nicely. Thank you.
And have you seen any difference? You know, obviously it's the second year of being Virgin. I mean, you've done, this is your 12th.
Yeah.
Better atmosphere?
I seem to think the London Marathon just seems to get bigger every year, which every year seems an impossibility because it's always so great. My first London Marathon was 1985, in the years when Mars was sponsoring it, and the registration was at the Royal Festival Hall on the South Bank. It was very small, although I did meet Steve Ovett that year and got my number signed, but it was tiny in comparison, even though at the time I think there were 15,000 runners. Just compared to now, there was no chip timing. When you finished, it was all manual recording. You had to wait 2 or 3 weeks to see your results in the results booklet. And whilst the support was good, it's nothing like it is today. And the Expo was tiny then; it was probably a tenth of the size.
And are you running for any particular charity, particular cause this year? I'm
not this time, because I've done a number of marathons before, and I'm doing Ironman. I think now to ask people to sponsor me, they're almost expecting me to be able to do this without it being too much of a challenge. Which when I get to about mile 21 on Sunday, probably I'll be regretting that. But no, I'm not fundraising here, but I have been at other events.
Okay. And for you, how does London compare with some of the other marathons that you have done?
I think every marathon, or most marathons, have something to recommend them. So I've done, apart from London, I've done everything from, not everything, I've done New York, I've done Chicago, I've done Luton, I've done Blackpool, and I think most marathons have something to recommend them. I am biased though. I do love London Marathon. I've done it many times, and I think I'm biased. It's the city I grew up in, and it got great atmosphere, and it's got a stunning course, and it has a history behind it, which is now 30 years. And I remember watching the first one on television, and being quite inspired, and that's what inspired me to get into running as a kid, and as a very unsporty kid, and suddenly I discovered that you could push yourself without having to actually be in the first team or to win something to feel successful. So London I will always be biased to.
And what are you most looking forward to on Sunday? Finishing?
No, actually I love the whole race. I love the atmosphere of the start. I love the excitement at the start. I love the first 10 miles where it's party atmosphere. Then it starts to get a bit more serious as people head out towards the Isle of Dogs. Then the tough part starts, but there's always something to make you smile, to make you, to laugh, to wave. People call out your name if you've got your name on your t-shirts. So people often say, I bet you're glad when it's over. In a certain way, yes, but especially when you get to the last mile, you just don't want the atmosphere to end because it's so elating. And you run around that last mile, you turn the corner by Big Ben, and you see 1 mile to go, and the cheers suddenly change from you're going to do it, you're going to do it, go on, you can finish, to you've done it, you're there, you finished the London Marathon, and the atmosphere and the enthusiasm of the spectators, even though there's 10,000 people in front of you and 10,000 people behind you, they're cheering just as much for you as they have for everyone else, and it makes you feel like $1 million. Yeah, very special.
Very special.
Very special.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That's David Castle for Run 247. Thanks very much.